Hi everyone, my name is Sandra. I'm the co-founder at TranslateWise. It's an Estonian tech startup and we help people to use machine translation in a more efficient and new form. Thank you for inviting me to share my story and some of my thoughts as a female founder. I see more and more females who want to shape the future, and as any journey or successful career or startup or any company started with an inner desire of one person or a small team of people. And I really hope that the people listening to this event and the presentations have that desire to realize their full potential and shape the future as well. I used to work for different companies for past 10 years in my life. Um, I did some attempts to start my own small business before. Those attempts failed. I have learned my lessons and returned back to 9 to 5 office work. And what I realized was that there is a big difference in mindset and the business models. So let's try to explain that different mentality. For example, if you like cooking, you could open a bakery and do the best carrot pie in the town. Or if you are really into the beauty, you can open a nail bar. That was the mindset as a female that I had before. And this would lead me to a life where I'd be peeling carrots or polishing nails all day long. I understood that this is not something that would make me happy, and I wanted my life to be more meaningful than this. It has nothing to do with becoming rich or famous. It's about having a meaningful life and enjoying what I do every day. So let's try to take it further together. Think of any old school taxi company within your town, and think of world famous app-based car sharing platforms like Uber or Bolt. What's the difference between a startup and a local taxi company? For me, one is providing the service. It's similar to peeling carrots or polishing nails. And another one is changing globally the habits of millions of people. And of course, making history. All startups that grow big, they have one thing in common. People talk about their product around the world and about their experience because they experienced something new. And usually people like that experience because the old way was replaced with a new model that's faster, better, more efficient, or simply more convenient for modern people. To wrap this up, I have a message for you that we all have a choice. It's us who decide what we want to do, what we want to create. So I encourage you to discover the world of technology and the world of startups, rather than staying in the mentality of peeling carrots or polishing nails. For me, it was the start of the new mindset I'm extremely happy for that change to happen. It happened when I started working for a tech company. At first, it was beyond my imagination. It's a totally different world, and I did not understand it much. I only saw that we depend on technologies. We use different technologies on a daily basis. Our governments do, companies do, and individuals do as well. My job was in marketing, and having the experience of working in IT company or a tech startup was creating the strong foundation for my own startup um, and my further career. Without that experience, I assume I wouldn't be where I am today. Our startup story began with one call a couple of years ago from my brother, who simply asked me how to update a product description in 7 languages. And I started thinking of solutions and of the companies I came across who had materials and websites and marketing and legal terms in different languages, but there was no solutions on the market. And that was the moment when I can say that our startup story began. And we started thinking of an idea, of a problem, and potentially what could be the solution. And this opportunity to work with your own team, build a new product, and make one industry, in our case it's translations industry, more efficient, or make it a bit better than it is today. This is what I call a meaningful job. Of course, there are many challenges when building a startup. I assume any other type of small business has its own challenges as well. I'm often asked, how is it like to be a female founder? The biggest challenge that I have seen is within changing the roles, because women are also wives, mothers, daughters, we are caretakers, and men are hunters. They have given more opportunities by the nature to hunt better. They dedicate 100% of their energy to bring the result. So after having the experience in fundraising, it seems to me that investors do feel it as a risk when seeing a female founder. They have various questions in their mind. What if she goes on maternity leave? Or what if she already has 1 or 2 kids? And there are some important negotiations where she has to participate in another country. Important deals for fast growing startups usually are somewhere in London or San Francisco. And these are justified risks. This is not something to be ashamed of. And I have learned to balance my life between the startup and the family and the kids, to keep my mind more clear and have that peace in mind, because only then I can do better decisions. If you learn from your mistakes, we all do mistakes. If you keep focused on your startup, and if you never give up, I believe it's not a matter of gender, if you're a male or a female. Startups are one of the most interesting phenomena of this century. Maybe it's because I'm from Estonia and we have the largest number of unicorns per capita, and most of my friends know someone who is doing startup or have thoughts of doing one of their own. This is a huge challenge that modern people need. We feel it more here in our region. I hope to see it also um, growing faster in other regions as well. And it has nothing to do, again, with the gender. It's a chance to do a meaningful job. It's a chance to become a hero for some people. For most of the people, however, it might mean also burning out. So I'd like to say that it's a question of definition. Don't be afraid of failures, of burning out. Just take it as a lesson learned. Because achieving rapid growth or profitable business model, it's difficult. It's difficult for everyone, even those founders who seem to be very successful, who share their amazing results, awards, news about their startups. Their companies can be in a much worse situation than it seems, or they personally can be quite depressed, and simply founders are not showing it. We all know the statistics that the chance for a startup to become successful is just 1%. So I don't want to hide the fact that it's extremely challenging and difficult journey. But if you compare it to the office work, 9 to 5, with the chance to create something important, something that people might be using on everyday life, I think it's worth it. So don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid of not starting today, rather, I'd say. And if you have an idea, I recommend to share it openly with everyone. Ask for as many opinions as you can, because nobody will steal your idea. Sometimes people are afraid to share their business ideas, but those ideas are totally worthless. The only thing that makes an idea worth it is this execution from your side. And to execute well, you need to learn, you need to have the experience. Some of the options that I would suggest to gain that experience that will help you to establish a successful startup is to either find another startup that is already fast growing and work or apply for work and try to get that working experience. And if you don't have this opportunity, don't waste your time. Open YouTube, type in Y Combinator and listen to these lectures. These are priceless, totally free of charge, and it's extremely valuable source of knowledge for any startup founder. So I wish you a lot of luck, and I hope that some of the ideas you can take with you, and maybe already tomorrow start taking some actions. All the best.